This is a Stoch RSI, just to kind of give you an idea as far as back testing some of the information. So the way it works is you've got this blue line and red line. It works exactly like the MACD. Blue line crosses down, that's your sell signal. Blue line crosses the red line up, that's your buy signal. Okay, so blue crosses down under the red line, sell signal. Blue crosses down under the red line, sell signal. Blue crosses down under the red line, sell signal. Right, here's blue crossing up, buy signal. Blue crossing up, buy signal. So you got the MACD idea in here. Well, then it's kind of like the RSI where like this is overbought area. This is overbought area. This is oversold area, oversold. And so just like the RSI, like, you know, essentially you get moves to the upside based on oversold levels, and you get moves to the downside based on overbought levels. Okay, so you have kind of a combination of RSI and MACD in the stochastic RSI. Okay, so let's back test some of these signals just to see how accurate they were. Now, this is not perfect, but I definitely see some ideas that would help us in some situations where it's shed some light when I needed some more information. And so here's a Bitcoin daily chart. All right, if we go back and we look at this one spot here, okay, that's a right here. So you see blue crosses down, and this is overbought, right? So you're looking for some type of correction back into this area. So back to the chart. You've got your sell signals given right here. I mean, this is, to compare it to the MACD, the MACD was just, so previously I've got videos on the MACD, and the MACD works well, but you have to kind of front run it. So right here, you have to sense this little tick to the inside and kind of front run the actual cross, right? So this crosses, the stochastic RSI crosses faster. You get a lot more signals, all right? But you have to kind of sort through them a little bit. All right, so you can see this is just ticking in, but this obviously has a significant move to the downside. Just now, just recently, like if this would have been your sell signal, if you were just using the MACD on the daily. Okay, so this is obviously a lot better signal given by the stochastic RSI. Then you can look for divergences as well. Here, so here you've got, this is essentially this swing high, right? And then this swing high, right? And so you've got essentially this high is higher, this high is a lower high, this high is higher, this high is a lower high. But if you look at the stochastic RSI, you've got this high is lower than this high, which is this is hidden bearish divergence right here, right? Because you've got a high and then a higher high, but here you've got a high and then a lower high. Well, it played out. You got confirmed. Okay, so here this is a signal that you wouldn't have seen on these other indicators. These are two signals. This sell signal, this hidden bearish divergence that we wouldn't have seen. We wouldn't have even seen this. But adding the stochastic has allowed me to kind of show you some other ideas and some back testing as well. We're always looking for an edge. I'm open to new ideas. So right here, if you look, here's your sell signal. Really, it's right here. Right here. We'll just mark it with a vertical line. Okay, there's your sell signal. Blue line crosses down. Sell. All right, now let's go up here and line it up. Look where it gave the sell signal. Right here. This again is quick. Now here on the MACD, you get a convergence and then a divergence, but it didn't actually cross. Like you could front run this with the MACD, but a lot clearer signal because you got the actual bearish cross, blue crossing down below the red. Okay, so let's go back here and let me show you this signal. That's your sell signal right here, blue line crossing down. Zoom back out. And that would have happened here. Okay, and again, nailed this move Nailed this move right here. See, matches up perfectly. It's not perfect. Sometimes you get this, where it gets pegged, it gets stuck up here, and you get a bunch of crosses. And so it's hard to distinguish, like, what's the signal? What's the signal? Like, it's, so the key is, just like we talk about with the RSI, like the RSI being up here, being overbought, like the actual move to the downside happens when the RSI actually leaves overbought areas, right? So the actual move here, when it leaves, when it crosses below this, that's really the threshold for the actual move to the downside. And just to back test that idea, here you got your move to the downside right here based on the RSI. Okay, and so now if you look at, this is overbought on the stochastic, and you got your last signal was a sell signal, and then you're leaving overbought. Okay, so again, not as clear as they were these signals, but anything we do in trading, back test it. Use these ideas. You'll see for yourselves, like, hey, this is accurate 60% of the time, 70% of the time, 80, whatever it is. You'll know. Like, you don't want to ever trade on one idea. You want to find a couple ideas that show the same outcome, the better. Okay, so just to focus on the stochastic RSI, here's a sell signal, and you would have sold here. So again, not the biggest move. And so sometimes you don't get very big moves, right? Here's a sell signal, and you didn't get a very big move, but you immediately get a buy signal. So you had, just to show you, this would have been your sell signal, and this would have been your buy signal. So again, not an amazing trade if you just trade on that idea. You're going to get a bunch of signals, especially on the lower time frames. Especially on the lower time frames. Now, divergence works the same. Divergence is going to work the same, just like it does with the other indicators, right? Bearish divergence occurs on the top of the indicator, the top of the price action. Bullish divergence is going to occur on the bottom of the indicators in the price action, same way. So just to explain here, you got this situation right here where the stochastic RSI is nailed up here at overbought. If you look, like these little moves down here, it's telling you what's going to happen, but they're tiny moves, tons of signals here. Something that maybe don't focus on, like these moves when it's pegged up here. Mainly look at when it leaves this area. So this is kind of like your RSI leaving overbought area. Okay, and so, but notice you get a move to the downside here, and you got your move to the downside, and it's not very big. Okay, and then you get, here's a sell signal here, and then you have a move to the downside, which is almost twice as big as the last one. So it's kind of hard to quantify that idea, like how big the move is actually going to be. But again, just another tool that we want to add just to kind of really focus on what's happening with the stochastic RSI. If it's pointing up, doesn't look like it's about to curl over, like that's a continuation idea. So sometimes people will check multiple time frames and see if the stochastic is still moving to the upside, and it'll give you ideas as far as continuation of the trend. Okay, so here's current 30-minute chart. And again, there's a ton of crosses, all these crosses. But what I've been really paying attention to is, here it's overbought. It's overbought on the 30-minute. So now, is it going to stay up here? Are we going to get this type of like double top type pattern? Or, is it going to break to the downside? You can see you had a sell signal, and then you did get a red candle, but then green candles getting printed, and it's starting to cross higher. So you might get this little kind of like sideways movement, and you're really looking for that move to the downside. So, okay, as an example here, this is market cap dominance, Bitcoin market cap dominance. You see on how this is pointed down? That's just kind of a continuation idea, like that the trend, that this price action is going to continue lower. If this is going to reverse as far as the price action goes, like if it's going to bounce there and retest, you'll see this will start to curve and it'll start to reverse. It'll start to curve higher. Okay, so let's just say, okay, here is Bitcoin CME futures. See how this is still pointed down? That's a continuation idea. Now you go to lower term time frames, 1 hour, and it might be curving higher already. Go to 12 hour. See how the 12 hour is all the way down here. It's starting to get oversold. It's trying to curve. It's trying to reverse. This trend is trying to reverse. Like it could get pegged, but again, Once it comes down here, just let's look previously to see what happened. See how it came all the way down here in the extreme oversold area, and then you got your reversal, and also so you're in oversold area. So this is looking for a bounce based on this idea, and then you got your blue line crosses over the signal line. Okay, so that's bullish, and that's you're looking for. That's your buy signal. That's your buy signal. And you're leaving oversold territory. So that's your sign of reversal. Let's go look, see what happened on the price action. That was the sign, the signal was given right here. Pretty much nailed it. RSI, yeah, I mean, it hit oversold too. So, I mean, that would have given you a signal as well. MACD didn't really give you a signal till here. So for crosses, this is a lot better. When you're looking at some of these setups, like if I post a setup, remember the moves start on the lower time frames, right? But you're going to get a ton of signals on the lower term time frames. However, the bigger moves do start on the smaller time frames. You know, you don't just necessarily know which one's going to be the big move, right? So it's important to use multiple time frames for these ideas. And now to open up this stochastic RSI, you just type in Stoch, and then it's not stochastic, but stochastic RSI. Pick that. And I would also recommend go into your settings on this and change this to a lighter blue so we can see it. And I also changed this purple to lighter purple. You know, so I mean, it seems like you can see that a little bit better. Definitely encourage you guys to start checking out the stochastic RSI. Thanks so much.